Here we go. The Irish coffee man himself, Mr. Ryan McCarthy, is in with us this morning. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. I didn't get a chance to thank this guy, Ryan McCarthy, for being a part of the program. And I had someone ask me recently, how did McCarthy happen? I slipped. I had a party. And you were there in the chat when I did it. I was working on about an hour's worth of sleep. I had been up all night the night before. Jody came in and said, "Are you okay?" I said, "I'm fine." And I was rolling too. I had 4 different projects to do. Got done with 3 of them. I finally came to bed at about, I'd say 6:30, just when she was getting up. She went off to work. I slept for an hour. I came back. You had made a comment, and I hadn't. This answer your question, folks. I haven't had any of this yet. And instead of saying McCarthy, I said McCarthy. It slipped and it stuck.
I think Wise was there too at that time.
Yeah,
I think
Wise was there. And Wise, thank you.
I'm McCarthy.
Ryan McCarthy. And Wise, thank you as well, brother, for being there on this journey with us, as well as the Hawk TV and everybody I named in the chat. All right. To Ryan McCarthy. And there's someone, let me get the right element up here. I asked you last night what is on the docket, and the name you gave me was
Mecole Hardman. Have a seat.
and go.
Oh my gosh. Where do we begin? Let's start last week when Mecole Hardman appeared on the Pivot podcast with my fellow namesake Ryan Clark on that 4-letter network.
This is gonna be good already. I know it.
Oh my! And he basically, I would say, loosely admitted to tampering when 2 weeks before the trade deadline he said, I mean, I can't quote because we don't have the. I'm just paraphrasing here. He basically said to Patrick Mahomes and to Brett Veach, the GM of the Kansas City Chiefs, "Come get me." 2 weeks later, he was traded to Kansas City for a 6th-round pick. But then there's more. There's more to this.
Oh, there's more.
And there's more. And there was some leaking coming out of Jets camp from a few players, Sauce Gardner being one of them.
Oh no.
That Mecole Hardman had allegedly leaked game plans to his former team before week 4 and to the Philadelphia Eagles before week 7. Now, the ironic part is, and this is, I'll give credit to Connor Hughes from SNY. He's the one who put out the tweet. He said, ironically, Zach Wilson had one of his best game of the season, possibly of his career, against the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday night. And then the Jets defense. Yeah, right. Go figure. The game plans get leaked, and yet Zach Wilson balls out with the exception of that one fumble towards the end.
Which cost the game, as we talked about.
It's unfortunately cost them the game because the Chiefs bled the clock, and they got the benefit of a non-holding call on third and 20 something. Yeah, and they got the benefit of a holding call on an interception that could have changed the game. So that's neither here nor there. Right. And then the Jets defense have arguably their best game of the season against the Eagles. And they forced 5 turnovers in that game. They forced Jalen Hurts to throw 3 interceptions, including which led to the game-winning touchdown.
Yep.
And he allegedly leaked those plans. So Sauce Gardner's coming out. Kenny Oboa's coming out. There's another player who came out and said, yeah, he leaked game plans. And what's interesting is that here's the interesting part. Now, when Aaron Rodgers, I think it was on Pat McAfee or did a press conference. He said, "Yeah, we got rid of the leaks and now we got to move forward." Which has me stroking my beard and wondering. I wonder if Mecole Hardman was the leaker.
Mm-hmm.
So then on Friday, before our Saturday brunch show, which don't watch it, go back and watch it after the show.
Yes.
After the show.
Yes.
We talked about it some more. And on Friday, he came out and said, "No, that I didn't leak game plans. That's outside my character. It's I would never do that, blah blah blah." He posts that on Twitter. But then I asked my coworker, my co-host, not coworker, my co-host Dustin. We talked about it in detail, and I asked him if because now he's a free agent because he only signed a 1-year deal with the Jets,
right?
And he got traded back to Kansas City, so now he's going to be he's scheduled to be a free agent.
Again.
I asked Dustin again, yeah. I asked Dustin if these allegations come out,
mm-hmm.
and he's a free agent, would you want to take a chance on him? And his reply was, I didn't even finish the question. He immediately said no. No. Because if these allegations are true,
mm-hmm.
why would you trust him? The only place I could see him going is staying in Kansas City for the rest of his career. If these allegations came out, and they're found out to be true, then personally, I don't think he should ever play in the NFL ever again because you can't trust the guy.
Right.
And look, I also mentioned too, I said, you had a bad experience with the Jets, and I gotta read you this tweet from Thomas Morstead. From the top rope. He comes out on Thursday or Wednesday, and this is what he said. Get the button ready. Get the button ready, Snowman. Get the button ready.
Which button am I getting ready here?
Well,
okay. Who is it? Who is it again?
Thomas Morstead, punter.
Thomas Morstead said,
quote, "Be careful getting information from disgruntled former employees. Getting beat out by a rookie free agent after being guaranteed millions of dollars is tough to deal with. Entitlement is a killer of opportunity. You have to earn it every year." Close quote. So yeah, this dude got beaten by an undrafted rookie free agent in camp. Partially because, part of it was because he hurt his hand. He hurt his hand in camp. I get it. You get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
That sucks. But
right,
you're the one, and you figure you were there because Aaron Rodgers gets traded to the team. You're gonna figure, all right, I'm gonna ball out with one of the greatest quarterbacks of this era. He gets hurt 4 plays into the season, and you can't seem to get utilized by that guy Nathaniel Hackett. And pardon the background noise. I got contractors here.
Understood.
But you're the one who has to make the opportunity for you.
Yep.
Like, if you're not on the field, help your fellow receivers. Help the guys who are like Xavier Gibson and I can't remember the other receiver on the Jets who was undrafted free agent who won the job. Hang on. Real-time research, folks. Depth chart.
Real-time research.
Okay, so I can't remember his name, but he was an undrafted free agent too, and he was also the one featured during Hard Knocks. But you got to help if you're not being utilized, if you're hurt, you're not being utilized, be a good teammate and help your teammates. Don't leak game plans because you're angry. Don't send text messages to your former teammates and your former GM saying, "Get me out of here. I want to get out of here. I'm not being used." And God bless him.
What I think did he say? Get me out of here!
I'm pretty sure it's not. I'm pretty sure it's a direct quote. Yeah, you said it just like that.
Get me out of here!
Thank you, Bugs Bunny. But, God bless you. You caught the game-winning pass for the Super Bowl. You won your second ring. Good for you.
Right.
But I hope the NFL does do an investigation. And I'll tell you why. But it won't happen. Because, A, Kansas City Chiefs are the golden calf right now in the NFL. They're
until we beat them in New Orleans next year. I'm sorry, I didn't.
Well, I mean, in terms of sale of jersey sales,
yeah.
I mean, how many Travis Kelce jerseys are being bought by Swifties because that's her boyfriend? And two, the NFL hates the New York Jets. They hate the New York Jets. They don't want to see them succeed. And Roger Goodell was a former intern with the New York Jets. So you will not get a tampering investigation. You will not get an investigation into possible cheating by Mecole Hardman.
Mm-hmm.
But all I can say to Mr. Hardman is be a better man. Don't whine. And if you're going to encounter hard times with Kansas City or whoever you're with next year, whoever dares to sign to sign you to a contract next year for 1 year and $10 million guaranteed, good luck. Good luck, because the minute, I don't know if it's his generation or the way his character is, if he encounters hard times where he's not being used or he gets hurt or he gets beat out by a better player,
right?
Red flag.
Big time.
Red flag. And I just say, look, to the NFL, please, I know you're not going to do it, but investigate it. Investigate this. Because the Jets need to be rewarded with something. You got to be rewarded with something, whether it be I don't care if it's a third round pick.
Mm-hmm.
And it'd be great if they got the number 32 pick in the first round. Awesome. Got to draft the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
But it won't happen. It just won't happen, unfortunately. So, Mecole Hardman.
Why'd you say what I was thinking, that they just need to draft a quarterback?
I mean, they do. I mean, Zach Wilson's probably going to be traded. Mm-hmm. Joe Douglas came out and said it during the combine press conference. It's like, yeah, we've granted his request to seek a trade. Like, all right, thanks for coming.
Mm-hmm.
But Mecole Hardman, I hope you learn from this experience that nobody likes a snitch, and don't be the leaker. So you're dismissed.
What's the brew this morning, my friend?
I got Cameron's Hawaiian blend. Nice. I ordered, like I said, I got some renovations going on, so I can't do my usual French press. So I got the Keurig going, but I got some Invader coffee coming on the way. So I'm going to have the Keurig K-Cups for that very soon. So
very nice. Very nice.
Oh, and congratulations to the greatest scorer in basketball history on Saturday.
What? Oh,
you spoiled it for me. I was going to say Caitlin.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry.
Can I start over?
Yeah,
rewind.
Go.
Okay. Congratulations to the greatest scorer in basketball history, Caitlin Clark.
Indeed, man. Indeed. I mean, you know what? We talked everything that was wrong with some of the All-Star games, NHL, NBA, NFL. Dear God, don't get me started. But the shootout with Stephen Curry and Sabrina Ionescu, I was intrigued, and that was the only 2 minutes I watched from the entire All-Star weekend.
And I think it's going to be a fatal. I don't mean to interrupt you. I think it's going to be a fatal four-way next year with Steph Curry, Ionescu, Caitlin Clark, and dare I say Dame Lillard, maybe
either him or Clay. Either him or Clay, because shucks, it might be the Splash Brothers and Damian Lillard against Ionescu, Caitlin Clark, and another one, like a 6-man tag.
Is Kyle Korver still playing in the league, or did he
No.
retire?
He retired.
Okay. I would love to see him come back and be part of that Fatal 4-Way.
That would be fun, wouldn't it?
That would get me interested. I mean, come on. I mean, I'm not a big basketball fan. Really, we don't really cover it on our show. No crunches required, but
right.
I'll put it out there. I'm a team free agent. Like I don't have a team right now. I followed the Bulls back in the 90s. I followed the New Jersey Nets because they were from New Jersey. Then they moved to Brooklyn into that shadow realm. The shadow realm. Why
they made that move?
The shadow realm known as the Barclays Center. Shout out Vicola.
Shout out Vicola. I love that cup, man.
I got this at MetLife Stadium. Can't find it anywhere else. I got this in MetLife Stadium in 2016, I think. No, 2014.
2014. Well, I got to get mine. I have to make sure it's not dirt. I have to wash the thing because my daughter got me that cup for Christmas.
Yep. The 49ers cup.
Yes.
Nice.
But Caitlin Clark, a tribute to you. Matter of fact, I meant to do this in a separate segment, but since I got Ryan McCarthy here, let's go. This will be done twice. This is the first one, and then when Jay Spivey gets here in about an hour and a half, we'll talk about this again. Wait, hold on. I have to do this. What? A black man talking about women's basketball? Now give me this camera. Caitlin Clark, congratulations to you and to the Iowa Hawkeyes. And I hope y'all take down South Carolina again in the Final Four in Cleveland. Of course, I'm messing with Playmaker as South Carolina finished the season undefeated. But when I saw that record on a free throw and 15,000 go nuts in Iowa City, I believe in my heart if they get everything together and if Molly Davis survives the injury that befell her late in the first half, I believe Iowa has a shot at winning the national championship. In fact, I would love for either a repeat of last year's national championship game with LSU and Iowa, or LSU and South Carolina getting it on for the national championship. Which brings me to this. Y'all need to move the women's Final Four out of arenas and into stadiums. Why? First and foremost, you got the Caitlin Clark effect. You can't tell me that you won't be able to sell 70,000 tickets at Lucas Oil Stadium, NRG Stadium, and places like that. Did you hear how loud the crowd was last year in Dallas? I mean, hell, you could have it at Cowboy Stadium and put 100,000 people in there. There are people that love women's college basketball. Hello, I'm one of them. I've covered women's college basketball for almost 30 years. It'll be 29 next year when I do girls and women's basketball. But it's out there. And it's going to stay out there. So NCAA, do me a favor. You got the NIL solution right, but you need to refine it. And you need to move, because if you can get the players paid, which is about time that happened, if you can do that, you can move the Final Four into stadiums. The Caitlin Clark effect is real. Juju Watkins, you're next. And I hope you take control of this and lead the next generation into women's college basketball. Since you're playing at USC, I hope you repeat or exceed the exploitations of Cheryl Miller or Cynthia Cooper or, dare I say, Caitlin Clark. So to the NCAA, you need to move the Final Four into stadiums. Get her done. You can start with 40,000, like at the Dome in St. Louis, or you can open the whole stadium. And I close with this. If you can put 55,000, if the University of Iowa can play a game at Kinnick Stadium and put 55,000 people in Kinnick Stadium on a warm day in October, then you can't tell me you can't put 55,000 people in a stadium for the Final Four for something very, very significant. Stop the cap. That's Snowman's take. What is yours? Speaking of play-by-play, beginning this Wednesday, yours truly will provide live play-by-play coverage of the Women's Big Ten basketball tournament. That'll be at the Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota. First game starts at 5:30. Yours truly will have the call, and we'll start our BetUS.com pregame show at 5 p.m., setting the whole thing up. And this portion with Ryan McCarthy is brought to you by Invader Coffee, aiming to serve only the highest quality organic air-roasted coffee beans sourced from free coffee trade farms all over the world. The best coffee at an affordable price. Log on to invadercoffee.com, place your order, use the code Snowman for 15% off. Invader Coffee, fuel for the fearless, just as Ryan McCarthy is. And speaking of Invader Coffee, I have a favor to ask. Can I have another present?
Maybe. Before I get out of here, though, I do want to ask you about this news that came out on Saturday about your San Francisco 49ers making a couple of hires. One of them was their promotion of Nick Sorensen to defensive coordinator.
Yep.
The other,
Brandon Staley.
The Aaron Boone of the NFL, Brennan Staley, is back in the NFL as the possible associate head coach.
That deal is actually... Yes, sir.
Please indulge me.
All right. Watch this.
Give him this camera.
He wants me to indulge. I shall indulge. Give me this camera.
Give me this camera.
Brandon Staley is not a head coach. Thank you, Lord. He's working under a coach that will keep him in line. Thank you, Lord. Brandon Staley has been banished to be an associate head coach. Okay? I can handle that. It's him being a head coach of an actual football team, which frightens the out of me. He has people above him. He cannot and will not ruin my beloved 49ers. Why? Because if he tries, then Kyle Shanahan will kick him in the ass. Oops. Hold on a minute. I'll say it. I will say it and I will say it again. If Brandon Staley tries anything to wreck this 49ers team, which I believe will win the next 2 Super Bowls, Kyle Shanahan will kick him in the ass. Hard.
That's my change jar. And a former milk jar.
So Brandon Staley, in the immortal words of a coach that shall not be named, please do your job. That's Snowman's take. What is yours? That answer your question?
I'm satisfied.
Because I know I'm gonna get it most of this week. That's Ryan McCarthy appearing this morning, presented by Invader Coffee. All of our guests appear on the Invader Coffee hotline. Invader Coffee, fuel for the fearless. Thank you, brother, very much. I love you. I'll talk to you in a week's time.
All right. Tomorrow night, 8:00. No credentials required. Live. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. I don't call it X.
I can't call
Join
it
us.
X. I
Join
will
us.
I will definitely be there. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.